peace when you slow it down. Throw off the rules like our shoes on the golden ground.
Hi, I'm glad you're here. Welcome to home, where you come to reset your nervous system and rewire your week. If you're listening to this while holding a lot, before something important, after a demanding week, or with that quiet sense of pressure humming in the background, you're in the right place. This week, I noticed something just before an intensive, that familiar mix of responsibility, care, and readiness, alongside a subtle layer of stress I didn't really want to admit was there. With it, a voice, a quiet one, but persistent, the one that says, "You should feel calmer by now. You should be more settled. You should have this handled." What helped wasn't fixing that voice. It was pausing long enough to notice it without believing it. I also noticed something else this week. How similar we all are underneath the labels we use to organize ourselves. I'm a woman, I'm a psychotherapist, I work, I care deeply, I function in systems. Others might say, I'm a parent, I'm a leader, I'm building something, I'm holding a family together, I'm a fur parent. Different identities, very similar nervous systems. We so often separate ourselves by role, by category, by expectation, as if that makes us safer, when actually so much of what we're feeling is shared. When we reduce ourselves to labels, roles, identities, positions, something subtle happens in our nervous system. The brain starts sorting the world into separate and opposed, rather than shared and connected. Biologically, we are wired first for belonging. Our nervous systems regulate best when they sense similarity, safety, and shared rhythm. Not when they're busy defending who we are. Connection settles the system. Polarization activates it. That's why coming back into the body matters so much when things feel tight. There's a way of meeting overload that doesn't involve pushing through or forcing calm. It's about restoring a sense of internal coherence, helping the system feel organized again rather than overwhelmed. What I noticed was subtle but real. Aches eased, the body settled. Instead of pushing sensations or feelings away, I could stay present with them without tipping into overwhelm. That's often how self-regulation works, not through effort, not through technique, through allowing the nervous system to complete the cycle that it's already trying to do. That's what an emotional pause really is. Not stopping life, not getting it right, just creating enough internal space for self-regulation to happen naturally. If you felt more stress than you expected this week, and then judged yourself for that, let's soften this moment. There's nothing wrong with you. Stress isn't a failure signal. Emotions or tears aren't bad. They are signals to pause, slow down, and come back into your body. Pausing doesn't mean you're falling behind. It means your system is doing what it's designed to do, recalibrating. Sometimes the most regulating thing we can do is stop separating ourselves from our bodies, our feelings, and each other, and return to a sense of shared humanity. This week you might notice how you speak during everyday interactions. Not to monitor yourself, not to judge, but just to listen. Does the way you speak invite connection? Or does it subtly pull you or the other person away from it? There's no right answer here, just awareness. If you feel it, you might try one very small shift in your next conversation. A pause, a softer tone, a moment of curiosity. Not to perform connection, but to move one step closer to it. Here are your 3 neuro nuggets for the week. Steady, practical, and human. 1. Stress gets louder when it's layered with self-judgment. When judgment softens, the system often settles on its own. 2. You don't need to sort yourself into identities to belong. Underneath them, human nervous systems respond to connection in very similar ways. 3. A pause doesn't require silence or stepping away. Sometimes it's simply staying with yourself long enough to feel safe again. Next week, we'll open a different kind of space. One question, thoughtfully held, that can shift more than you expect. Until then, I'm Kellyjo Coney-Khan, and this is Home, your weekly reset.
Place when you slow it down. Throw off the rules like our shoes on the golden ground.